What's up everybody, we're back with another video. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about a couple of things that have happened this week in the fish room. And I want to address a few things that I've certainly been feeling. Oh, you finally moved. I've certainly been feeling, and I think that a lot of people have this comment either in their minds or they've said it out loud to me directly. So I'll also be addressing that as well. So before we get into today's video, please go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, ding that little notification bell. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram where you guys can get updates daily on what's going on here in the fish room. And if you do follow me on Instagram, you guys will probably know kind of what's happened. You'll definitely know some things have changed. Woo! God damn, these guys are like at it. Okay, so before we get into today's video, I dropped in some courgette. I want to see if this guy eats it. I'm very interested. I made a whole video on plecos and how I find them very unique, and I didn't say the best things about them, but I can be forgiven, I hope. So let me go ahead and tell you what has happened today here in the fish room. I feel like this needs a reenactment. Come on, let's do it. The other day I walked in and I was kind of standing around and I was looking around at the aquariums. I come in here every morning and I do my checks. I check all these guys, make sure they're all there. Nobody's extra beaten up. You know, no one's on like the verge of death. Everyone's here, nobody's been eaten. Nobody's jumped out, I'm glaring at him. Then I come around, I take a look in here, make sure that all the arowanas are doing all right. I pan over to here. And this particular day, oh, as you can see at the back, I've also added in the backdrop again. There's way too much algae breaking out here. Like I said in the last video, my pleco isn't doing its job at keeping it clean. So on my next water change, which is on Sunday, I'm going to go ahead and scrub this all, clean this tank up real nice, and kind of make it look a bit better than it is. And yeah, we definitely need to start moving some fish out of here. There are way too many fish. People have been telling me, yes, Shirag, there are too many fish in this aquarium. To those people, I know. I'm very much aware that there are loads of fish in here. You don't have to tell me. Trust me, I know. But they're not going to die because I've got an FX4 filter on there. I usually have my sponge filter. It's disconnected when I was doing my last water change and I didn't get around to plugging it back in. And I've also got this. So I've got a lot of filtration running on this tank that is pretty much overkill. You know, I could probably go like 3 or 4 weeks without actually having to worry about the water quality dropping enough that it's going to put the fish in danger. These guys are very stressed out because I put this in today, so they're not really happy with me. But going back to what happened. So I came in and I looked over at this tank and all the fish were kind of huddled in this corner over there on the bottom, kind of like what these guys are doing right now. They were on the bottom, like this. Arowana was down on the bottom. I almost like flipped my stuff. I thought he jumped out of the tank. I couldn't see him. You know, my heart was in my mouth. Whoa. Something was off, basically. Something was off in this tank, and I looked around, filters were all running, they were still on. I made sure, you know, I was like there, like, the filter doesn't look like it's on, and I'm staring at this the entire time, the actual proof that the filters are on. I'm staring at it, but it wasn't registering, so I was worried that there had been an ammonia spike. Thankfully, there hadn't been. I came around to here, and I saw that my heater, which isn't exactly this heater, usually flashes at 25 degrees, 24, 25 degrees. It had registered an error. And I thought, damn it, what's happened? I put my hands in the tank was cool. It wasn't frozen or anything like that, so it definitely stopped working either in the early hours of the morning or literally like a few hours before I'd woken up. So the water had definitely dropped, but it wasn't freezing cold that the fish were all wiped out. All the fish are okay. All the fish are fine. But this did stress me out quite a bit. So what I had to do is I had to think quick, what the heck am I going to do? Essentially is what I was thinking to myself. I don't have a spare heater. All my tanks are in use. That tank we'll get to one day. All my tanks are in use. What do I do? I decided ultimately the best thing to do was to take the heater out of this aquarium and put it into here. Reason is, none of the other heaters I actually had that I could exchange were big enough to run this tank that I felt comfortable you know, doing that. What does that mean for the fish in the cube tank? Simple. There he is. Ouch, my legs. My legs. He is there. This is me last remaining silver arowana. 1 of 3. He is now 1 of 1. As you can see, his tail's been bitten off. That was what happened, and that is what the other silver arowana did to him. But as you can see, he's alright. This tank really needs a good clean, okay? This tank needs a big clean. So, that's kind of what happened that day. I had to put the new heater in. It wasn't too stressful. I didn't lose any of my fish, thankfully. And this guy, he's been in here for a week about now. The Gar have left him alone. They kind of do their own thing. He does his own thing. So I'm not worried about him getting abused. I kind of was, because he's already been beaten up. But he's doing fine. He's eating. He didn't like me for a few days, but you know, a lot of people don't. And yeah, so that was quite a trivial issue. So now let's go back to this tank. Let's actually go back to here. So the cube tank and the tank with the Gar and the arowana, they are probably my tackiest tanks that I have. Now, since I don't have a heater in my cube tank anymore, I've decided that I actually want to do a temperate tank. And I want to really do it nicely, so I want to go ahead and put like sand in there, put some wood in there, put some rocks in there, and make it a really nice temperate tank. And I want to do something very similar for the 3-foot aquarium. Again, I want to scape these tanks. I want to make them look really nice. The 3-foot tank, we're going to have to wait a bit until the Gar and the arowana put some more size on. They can go into a different tank with bigger fish. But once they've cleared out, I'm also going to do that, because these tanks look horrible. Yes, they look horrible. The 3-foot tank was supposed to be a quarantine tank, essentially, but yeah, I only need one quarantine tank. And I have been wanting to do a temperate/cold water tank for a while. And this tank is a decent size, so I can play around with it a bit more, and that's pretty interesting. So that is what I wanted to do. That is the stuff that I wanted to address, essentially. Those 2 tanks were not nice tanks. They were not nice looking at all. So I can at least do something about that. I can make them look nicer. I just need to make sure that the arowana is fine, because I had really bad luck with the 2 arowana prior. And that's just a shame, because arowana are really lovely fish, and I've had a really hard time keeping them alive. Like I've said, the only one I managed to keep successfully out of 6 at the moment, I've only kept 2 successfully, and I can only say successfully to this guy, the small guy down there. You know, until he's this size, I can't say it's successful. But yeah, he's definitely coming 18-20 inches. He's pushing to get a new home, essentially, because this tank literally lasted him 6 months. Because I got this in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 7 months, there we go. 6.5 months. So he went from about 8 or 9 inches to 18 inches in that time. Yeah. So I've got to upgrade this tank, and I got to rescape the 2 tanks that look absolutely horrible. Because at the end of the day, part of enjoying your fish tanks, yeah, sure, functionality, great. But you also want it to be cool. Like this tank, I want to do it up. Look, I've got like the pothos up on the top. I've got the whole dark water theme coming from the light that I use to actually light the pothos. So I want to go ahead and make this entire tank a proper dark water Amazon tank. And once I moved out my bigger fish and have like some of the growing out cichlids, it'll be like the right size for them. So that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about in today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I hope you all are keeping safe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.